All right, Free Radicals, welcome back to the Radical Independent. My name is Dave. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch the videos. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want notifications after you've subscribed. I appreciate those of you who have been watching the videos a bit more diligently lately. It's increased my revenue by a couple of bucks per month, and hence the reason I have a channel over on Rockfin too, but I do appreciate it. Who knows? Maybe we can build a movement here and someday have like 100,000 subscribers or something. But for now, I'll take my 7,000 and be content with that. The papers over in Hawaii have not been nice to Tulsi Gabbard during this entire campaign. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this, how they're framing Iowa. Barely registered with voters in Monday's Iowa caucuses. So Tulsi did not spend a lot of time in Iowa. She has spent more time in New Hampshire because she understands the political dynamic in New Hampshire is different. And so she invested a lot more time in New Hampshire. I know she did go to Iowa, and but the fact of the matter is she wasn't a real player in Iowa. So the paper is getting off here, though, by saying, look, she got 0.0% share of the state's delegates. She received about a dozen votes. Which, this is why the whole caucus thing needs to be abolished. Because I guarantee you, if you had a normal way to vote, Tulsi Gabbard would not get a dozen votes. She would get, thousands of votes, and she would show up. She would definitely show up. And again, if you're following the whole Iowa caucuses, what I now refer to as, I guess, a scandal, Mayor Pete is supposedly in the lead. And they continue to not count the districts that are heavily weighted toward Bernie Sanders. And this has now gone, 2 news cycles, and it makes it look like Mayor Pete won the state. And Mayor Pete is this new insurgent candidate. On to New Hampshire, where Mayor Pete is scheduled to make a big splash and so forth. I don't get it. If it ends up being Pete is the nominee, I will so go to the Green Party. I will so not vote or go to the Green Party or look for a Libertarian or whatever. But it ain't going to be the two, a neocon versus a neo-lib. I'm not doing it again. Mayor Pete is completely empty. He has nothing. He is an empty suit walking around talking about platitudes. And he's young, which, see, what is weird is if I were really into identity politics right now, I would say, well, I get it. He's gay, so that qualifies, that gives him something to say, look, I'm the first gay man running for president, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's true, but he's the first one getting votes, or he's winning primaries, or whatever you want to say about it. On the other hand, you got Tulsi Gabbard, who's just as young as Mayor Pete, who's got combat experience. Well, so does Pete. Look, she's been in Congress. She understands how legislation works. More importantly, she just stands on for the right issues. And she's far more relatable. She's not plastic. She's not fake. She doesn't go out there and tell you what you want to hear. She says difficult things. So this, they're basically saying, look, the Iowa caucuses do not go well for Tulsi Gabbard. I know for a fact that there were people at this caucus who decided to vote for Tulsi Gabbard, and they were called a Russian agent. There was one person, I believe, that was attacked physically with a magic marker. It's not like they were using a knife or a gun or anything, but they literally just wrote all over this dude with a magic marker and said that you were a Russian agent to get out of here. Calling all kinds of names. Why do you support Putin? How could you support Putin? So here's my summary. Quick video here. the media has made Tulsi Gabbard into a monster. They've successfully made her into a monster. And I've never seen a character assassination like this ever to any human being that I mean, there have been some big ones out there. People are falsely accused of things that they didn't do and so forth. But the Russian agent narrative has stuck. The propaganda associated with it worked. Somebody who is a rising star in the Democratic Party needs to leave. Tulsi, you need to leave the Democratic Party. Okay? They've done this to you. Hillary Clinton did this to you. She is the de facto leader of the Democratic Party until someone gets elected president as a Democrat. I can't believe what I'm witnessing here. That people are turning this gentle, kind woman who has fought for her country and could have easily died in combat, okay, on a couple of occasions. And she understands the cost of war, and she wants to do something about it. And the media has spent 12 months vilifying her, and prior to that as well. I mean, the fact that she wants to go and see what happened in Syria, the fact that she doesn't take the talking points that the military-industrial complex and the President of the United States, she doesn't want to accept those at face value. So she's a monster. I don't know what country I'm living in right now. I'm watching the events unfolding out of Iowa, and I'm watching how people don't seem... I mean, we should be in the streets. There should be... but I don't even know if that would help. I just think we need to collectively get the job done at the ballot box. And here's my my analysis. You need to find third-party and independent-minded candidates. If some of them are Democrats, you grill them. You talk to them. You say, look, I don't want you Russiagate nonsense. I don't want intersectionality. I don't want identity politics. I don't want any of this bullcrap. What I want, and just tell them what the issues are that you care about. You care about, the cost of healthcare or education or rent, okay? Are just never-ending wars and how much money that is draining from people here in the United States. That's where your tax dollars are going, okay? And every time you support a large corporation, you're basically supporting the military-industrial complex now, because everything is wedded. Everything kind of fits hand in glove. And I just saw this woman, this wonderful, attractive woman, who seemed to have a lot of nerve and fortitude to, just something that caught my attention early on was she was real. And she wasn't fake. And she wasn't behaving like a typical politician. She wasn't saying what people wanted to hear. She was the anti-Mayor Pete. But guess who's doing well now? Mayor Pete. And guess who has been successfully portrayed as a monster? Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know, folks. New Hampshire is very important. It is the last stand, and I'll be doing a video talking about what's at stake in New Hampshire for Tulsi and the future, really, of what I would consider the peace movement. Because there are no other candidates, and I will even throw Bernie under the bus here and say there are no other candidates that I feel confident about when it comes to dialing down the endless wars. Tulsi was our hope. And my plea to everybody who watches this channel, who understands what's at stake, who does think that foreign policy matters, don't quit. Don't quit. Go find a third party. Go find a Green Party candidate. Do something in your community, because if we stop, they continue to win. All right, I'm done. See y'all soon.